So, let's talk about something that's quietly changing everything in the world of sustainability. It's called the Life Cycle Assessment, or LCA. And we're going to see how AI is taking it from this static, kind of painful report and turning it into a powerful, predictive tool that can actually shape how we design products. Okay, so picture this. Every single product, whether you're making it or buying it, suddenly has to come with a detailed environmental receipt. I'm not talking about a suggestion. I mean a mandatory requirement. Well, this isn't some far-off future. It's happening right now, and it's forcing a total reinvention of how businesses measure their impact. And the tool at the very heart of this whole thing is the life cycle assessment, the LCA. Put simply, it's the big one. It's the most complete way to calculate a product's entire environmental footprint. We're talking from the very beginning, when raw materials are pulled out of the ground, all the way to the day it gets thrown away. The whole story. Now, what's so fascinating is how the whole point of an LCA has totally shifted. It used to be this voluntary thing, a nice green badge you could get to show off in your marketing. But now, thanks to new rules like the CSRD, it's becoming a mandatory, auditable receipt. Regulators want it, investors want it, customers want it. The game has completely changed.
Right, but here's the catch. Forcing everyone to do this has revealed a really big, ugly problem. The traditional way of doing a life cycle assessment, it's an absolute nightmare. And it's just not built for the world we live in today.
Let's start with the classic model, what you see here. In the old linear take, make, dispose economy, the LCA was pretty straightforward. You just had to track a product's impact from raw materials, to the factory, to the customer, and finally, to the landfill. Seems simple enough, right? But of course, now we're all trying to be more circular, right? Cradle to cradle. Well, that makes things way more complicated. Suddenly, that end-of-life step isn't an end at all. It's a loop. You have to measure the benefits of recycling, sure, but you also have to measure the impact of getting that material back in the first place. The data just starts to explode. But honestly, the real monster in this story, the thing that gives everyone a massive headache, is what's called Scope 3 data. That's everything in your supply chain. Trying to get accurate data on, say, the carbon footprint of rubber from Vietnam or the water used for a dye in Bangladesh, it's just a staggering global data problem. And this data nightmare? Oh yeah, it has a price tag, a big one. To do just one of these traditional LCAs for one single product, you are looking at a starting cost of around $50,000.
And it's not just the money, it's the time. We are talking about 6 months, half a year of work, with a whole team of consultants just chasing down data from suppliers all over the world, mostly with endless, painful email chains. So you spend 50 grand, you wait half a year, and what do you get for all that? A huge 100-page PDF report that's just a snapshot in time. And here's the kicker. It's obsolete the moment it's published. The second a designer swaps out a single screw, that entire $50,000 report is wrong, useless.
Okay, so that's the nightmare. But this is where AI walks in and completely flips the table. It doesn't just make the old way a little faster, it turns the LCA into something new. It turns it into a what-if machine. And this quote just nails it, doesn't it? The real power here is taking the LCA away from the compliance folks, who can only look backwards at what happened, and putting it directly into the hands of the designers and engineers, the people who are actually deciding what the future of the product will be.
I mean, the difference is just staggering. Think about it. You're going from a 6-month analysis to create a history book to a 6-second simulation that predicts the future impact of a choice you haven't even made yet. That's not an improvement. That's a whole new world.
All right, so how does AI actually pull this off? Let's walk through the 4 main steps of a traditional LCA and see exactly where AI comes in and fixes each broken part. Okay, step 1, scoping. In the old world, a bunch of people would sit in the room and basically guess. Should we include the box? What about the truck that delivers it? It's slow, and honestly, it's really easy to engage in a little greenwashing by just conveniently leaving out the messy parts. But with AI, no more guessing. It runs what's called a hotspot analysis. Before you even start, it crunches mountains of data and instantly points to where the real damage is. It tells you, hey, for this kind of product, 80% of your problem is right here. Focus on that. So you're aiming at the right target from day one.
All right, step 2. This is the big one. Data collection. This is that 10,000 PDF nightmare we were talking about. I mean, literally, people spending months just copying and pasting numbers from invoices and reports.
It's so tedious, and it's where so many mistakes creep in.
AI just automates the entire process. It uses tech that can read those messy PDFs just like a human, but way, way faster. And it pulls out exactly the data it needs. But here's the truly wild part. It then validates it. An AI can literally check a supplier's claim that they're deforestation-free against live satellite imagery of their land. That level of real-time proof was just science fiction before.
Okay, step 3, impact assessment. Traditionally, what you would do is take your energy number, say 10,000 kilowatt hours, and multiply it by some generic global average number from a textbook. But that's like saying the average temperature on Earth is comfortable. It's just not accurate. AI makes this way smarter because it's dynamic and regional. It knows that 10,000 kilowatt hours of electricity in France, which is mostly nuclear, has a pretty low carbon footprint. But that exact same amount of electricity used in Poland, which relies heavily on coal, that has a very high impact. AI understands that context, which means your final number is actually real and defensible.
And that brings us to the final step, interpreting the results. And as we've seen, the old output is that static PDF. It's a history lesson. It tells the compliance department what they did wrong last year, which is totally useless for the design team trying to figure out what they should do tomorrow.
And this is AI's mic drop moment. It transforms that final report into a living, breathing what-if simulation engine that plugs directly into the software designers are already using. So now an engineer can ask, what if we use aluminum from supplier A versus supplier B and get a full trade-off analysis in seconds? And this isn't just some cool internal company tool. All of this dynamic AI-verified data is about to become very public. It's what's going to populate something called the Digital Product Passport. Pretty soon, you'll be able to scan a QR code on a product and see that detailed environmental receipt for yourself right on your phone.
So, it really all boils down to this one question that every company needs to be asking itself. Is your approach to sustainability a backward-looking history lesson? A dusty report sitting on a shelf? Or is it a forward-looking flight simulator? A dynamic tool that lets you test decisions, learn from them, and actually navigate your way to a better future?